Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Video Game Details, the series where we take a look at some of the cooler things you may not have noticed while playing your favourite games. In today's video, we catch a suntan in The Sims 4, we try our hand at some parkour in Mirror's Edge, and we take aim at a testicle in Sniper Elite 3. As always, if you think you know the detail that I'm yet to cover, then the best place to let me know is in the comments section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, then a like is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So first up, let's check out another interesting gun in Borderlands 3. In a past episode of this series, we got to grips with the Exacting Crit, a submachine gun that had a description of slippery when wet. What this meant was that every time you reloaded the Exacting Crit, there was a chance that the gun would slip from your hands. The gun we're looking at today is called Digby's Smooth Tube. Digby is a jazz musician who needs your help with curing the mother of all hangovers, and after helping Digby on the road to recovery, he will give you the Smooth Tube. Now, if you've completed this mission and gotten the gun, you probably already know what firing the gun sounds like. Obviously, a gun given to you by a jazz musician would sound like a saxophone. That's not the detail we're interested in though. If you empty all of the bullets in Digby's Smooth Tube, and I mean every single bullet, not just the magazine, the gun will sound like this.
Ammo's out!
So instead of the normal empty weapon click, you get the sound of a broken sax instead. It's a really nice touch. So in the last episode of this series, we got covered in poop in Mafia 2 and decided to visit some shops to see what the reaction was. Needless to say, people didn't hold back in letting you know exactly what they thought.
Oh, Vito, did you shit your pants or what?
Well, those were just everyday people. I wonder how a member of the Mafia would react to meeting somebody covered in excrement. So here is what happens if you visit Eddie with clean clothes.
Hey, Vito, you made it.
Hey, Eddie.
Oh, nice threads.
Thanks. So, what's the plan, fellas? What's with the suits?
And here is what happens if you visit Eddie without changing first.
And he's going, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh Jesus Christ. Was that you? Vito? Oh, Jesus. Why didn't you take a fucking bath before you came back?
You told me to come right back when I was done. You think I'm enjoying this?
Okay. What happened with Luca?
It's done.
All right. How about our guys? You find them?
Yeah. Luca had him in the slaughterhouse. Frankie's dead, but Balls and Beans are fine. Luca was, interrogating him when I got there.
Any witnesses?
Well, except for a dozen or so of Luca's bodyguards we ran into. No,
back up, okay?
It was rough, Eddie.
Yeah, it sounds like it got pretty hairy. But hey, you pulled it off and you got out of there in one piece, right? So go get cleaned up before you ruin everybody's appetite. And burn those fucking clothes you're wearing. My God.
I love that your mission objective after that cutscene is you smell like shit, change your clothes. So up next is one of my favourite details in this video, purely because it's happened to me so many times in real life. In the Sims 4 expansion, Island Living, you can take a break from your hectic work life and instead spend time sunning it up on the beach. As is the case in real life though, too much time in the sun can cause your sim to get burned, like this. Ouch. What is really cool though is the fact that your sim will have tan lines that actually reflect the clothing they were wearing at the time. So my sim sunbathed in a vest, so he gets this horrible tan line. The next game on our list is so detailed that there are already hundreds if not thousands of videos out there covering that very topic. I mean, I've even made a few myself. In today's video though, I wanted to share a couple of details that I have personally never covered before and I think that you might enjoy. First up, let's take a closer look at the bow and arrow. Not many video game weapons come close to the feeling of satisfaction you get nailing a long distance shot with a bow, and Red Dead 2's bow is no different. It's also a surprisingly versatile weapon with plenty of different arrow types for every situation. What I wanted to highlight today is the difference between the regular arrow and the improved arrow. So first up, let's shoot this tree with a regular arrow. so the regular arrow just about penetrates the tree. Now let's try the improved arrow. So the improved arrow goes straight through the tree and comes out the other side. In most games, weapon and ammo upgrades can feel almost inconsequential, so it's awesome to see a visual difference like this. The next Red Dead 2 detail highlights one of my favourite things about games. I love it when a game shows you that your choices have consequences. This could be choosing what to say to a certain character or choosing to say nothing at all, then having that decision come back to haunt you later in the game. It's a nice way of making you feel part of the game's world. So at the beginning of Red Dead 2, one of the O'Driscolls jumps Arthur in a barn. After giving him a whipping, you can choose whether to let him go or kill him then and there. If you decide to let him live, you can encounter him again at the O'Driscoll camp, bragging to other members of the gang.
Yeah, I showed that bastard. Left him in the dirt and walked away.
You sure it was Dutch's boys?
Yeah.
Get in position, Arthur. Now.
So why'd they let you go? I wouldn't have done.
Fella didn't have much choice.
Quick, before you're spotted.
His teeth off the floor.
And you didn't tell him nothing.
Not a word.
As I said, I love this sort of stuff in video games. So these next two details featured in a video I uploaded last year, but that video has since been copyright claimed and now removed, so I decided to share them here. First up is something that I spotted almost immediately when playing the awesome Devil May Cry 5. One of the unlockable devil breakers is the Mega Buster from the Mega Man series. Now this isn't uncommon, especially for Capcom who love to reference Mega Man in other games. What is pretty cool though is how the jumping animation of your character changes whilst you have the Buster equipped. So here is the regular jumping animation. And here is a jumping animation with the Buster equipped. This jumping animation is actually the same jumping animation used by Mega Man himself. So from time to time, when recording clips for videos, I have to go back to a game that I haven't played in ages. Sometimes that can be an eye-opening experience because the game doesn't look or feel as good as I remember, and other times it can lure me back in for another playthrough. Mirror's Edge is thankfully part of the latter. The details I wanted to cover in Mirror's Edge are not groundbreaking by any means, but as seems to be the running theme with this series, they're a nice touch. First up are Faith's hair physics. Okay, hear me out. Semi-realistic hair in games is nothing new, but the fact that DICE saw fit to animate Faith's hair even though you never see it in gameplay is a great example of attention to detail. The other detail is one that some of you may already know, but when I asked on Instagram if people had seen it before, the large majority of people said no. So if you jump, perform a 180 turn and press the attack button, Faith will do this. As I said, not a lot of people knew about this on Instagram, so I'd be interested to know how many of you watching this video knew about this detail. So the final detail will put a smile on the face of anyone who went to a British school. The song Hitler Has Only Got One Ball, the other is in the Albert Hall, was a pretty inappropriate playground chant when I went to school. The song was based on the story that Hitler only had one ball, and it seems that British game developers Rebellion were also aware of the myth surrounding Hitler and his testicles. In the Sniper Elite 3 DLC, Hunt the Grey Wolf, you are tasked with taking down the dictator yourself. If you manage to land a shot on his private parts, a long-held suspicion will be confirmed.
For some reason, this feels like deja vu.
So that's it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, then a like is really appreciated, and if you are a fan of this series, then be sure to check out the cool video game details playlist on my channel. As mentioned, if you think you know of a detail that I'm yet to cover, then the best place to let me know is in the comment section or on my social media accounts. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.